Welcome to this week's preview for the White House Staff Tell All, where we spill the deepest, darkest secrets of the most picture-perfect families of the country. We will explore two of the most remarkable events from United States history, the Lewinsky scandal and President Nixon's resignation. We will end with an embarrassing and lighthearted story of a staff member's encounter with the president. We have actual stories to share from the White House staff that all come from the best-selling book, The Residence, by Kate Anderson Brower.
The first candidate to share his story is Chief Electrician Bill Clyburn. Clyburn worked at the White House for 41 years, which included time while Nixon served his terms in office. Clyburn remembered Nixon having a very regimented schedule during his first term, waking up early to head to the Oval Office. But Watergate sent him into a deep depression. His routine just broke apart. News of Watergate came as a complete shock to Americans, but what was even more surprising was Nixon resigning. Richard Nixon is the first and only president who has resigned from office.
The second candidate to share his narrative is Roland Messner, executive pastry chef for Presidents Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. One of his most memorable moments at the White House occurred during Clinton's presidency. He wanted to help Hillary feel better in any way he could. Her favorite dessert was mocha cake, and at the height of the scandal, he recalls, "I made many, many mocha cakes. You better believe it." The Lewinsky scandal tore the Clintons' emotions apart, but Messner found a way to help comfort Hillary.
Ivana Silva is our last candidate to share her testimony from her time at the White House. Silva worked at the Executive Mansion from 1985 to 2004. She was a second and third floor maid who got to experience the first family on a more personal level, sometimes almost too personal. Silva shares her embarrassing account of President Reagan. "I walk in the sitting room and there he was, naked, with the papers all around him. She rushed out of the room, blushing, before the president had time to say a word. He must have been as surprised as she was." Presidents aren't all serious and regimented as they're displayed in the media. They're just normal people that live through embarrassing moments like everybody else.
Dig deeper into a maid discovering the Clintons' bed covered in blood, Jackie Kennedy returning home following the assassination of her beloved husband, and what it's like to be a teenager living in the White House. Did you know the president's children can get away with practically anything, even though they're constantly under surveillance of law enforcement?
In the book, The Residence, you can read more of what goes on behind the scenes of the most looked at family in the country. You're sure to be exposed to the deepest, darkest secrets of the first family. But for now, that's the end of this week's preview for the White House Staff Tell All. Thanks for watching, and be sure to read Kate Anderson Brower's stellar story.